personal finance, nitty-gritties where you should look at how you should look at your money. That's what I have tried to cover. So this is what we are looking at India coming decade. Maybe what that's what I see. You can see resilient growth. We are the only country in the globe that we are growing exponentially year on year. You can see 6.5, 7% is the growth we expected in India as a GDP. You can see advanced countries economy is 1.8%, US is 2.8%, and of course Russia is 3.6 because of their problem with they're fighting, and emerging markets which includes China, India, Pakistan, and many other small countries which growing at 4.2%. We are the only country, we are almost at 7.5% growth. This interims give you add inflation to it, it will become your nominal growth. So I think 14-15% is the nominal growth will be growing at. That's a usual equity returns we can expect from the market when when the economy is growing that fast. You can see 2019 till 2024 quarter on quarter. If you can see slowly it is growing year on year. So in spite of 2020, it is a huge drop. You can see July 2020 was the biggest drop, and we are continuing to grow. And we see that the GDP growth will continue to be at 7-8% or 6 to 7% year on year for next one decade. I think don't miss the bus. This is going to do extremely well. These are government reforms they have done since 2024 till 2000. You can see Make in India. I already tried to cover it up. 2014 they started. Today it's a reality. The mobile phones are made in India. The scratch guards are made in India. You can take iPads are made in India. Headphones are made in India. A lot of things have been made in India, which we are using it. Earlier, everything was made in China. I think Make in India is a long way to go because we are still consuming a lot of things which are not in made in Make in India. I think Make in India will do extremely well. UPI, amazing, fantastic implementation. It's one of the biggest innovation in the globe. All other countries are raising their eyebrows saying what's happening with India. So we are the only country with such a huge QR codes and disruption in financial sector. UPI is introduced by NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, a subsidiary of RBI, which completely turned the whole basket of cash economy to non-cash economy. I think it has done extremely good job today. I think we yet to long way to go. Of course, there is a negative part of it. There are a lot of frauds are happening. Of course, it is there, no doubt about it. But UPI is actually meaningfully changed the trajectory of digital India, which is working out. Insolvency and bankruptcy bill. This is very important for the banking sector because you could see in the right hand side I have covered it. How many cases have been resolved by IBC and recovered around 3.3 lakh crore from the creditors. So there are willful defaulters like Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya. These people don't want to pay the money, or multiple reasons have been there, but they have taken over the responsibility and they have been sold. I think people will be aware. Vijay Mallya's property have been sold. He's been removed as a director. Most of the money has been recovered. I think IBC has made a fantastic impact on the banking economy, which makes banks stronger because the money lended by the banks is our own money, which we kept it as an FD. I think this actually added a lot of value. It makes banking system safer, which in turn make people's life easier, and then it can actually add to the economic growth. Real estate regulatory authority, very important decision. People who are not able to deliver properties on time are taking our money and running away, and property litigations, everything has reduced drastically. Of course, it has impacted the growth of the real estate economy, but that's okay. But RERA has actually added a lot of value to the country's growth. GST reformal thing has been put in place. Now today, real GST is reality. A lot of problems were being resolved. There's uniform coding has been done, and it's smooth. I think I can tell you as a businessman since 2011 I'm running my organization. Before GST 2017 there was a concept of service tax. I have seen just people walking into my office stating that I'm coming from service tax office. Where is your bill? Where is that document? Where is this document? Since 2017 till date, nobody even visited our office, and there's no email. Only email communications comes. We need this document, that document. We have never seen anybody who's calling and threatening us or telling that you give me the brave and all. So this is a big thing because small and medium enterprises, will sleep peacefully, and economy has given a drastic change, and. Of course, productive linked, production linked incentives are big thing. So this is introduced in 2020 to make sure Make in India has been put in place. You could see MI has set up a plant in near Chennai. where 2,700 women are working to make mobile phones. This is a big thing. So they are being having a lot of incentives in terms of making these things. So the whole purpose of doing this was a great thing in to make sure that Make in India is in place. And the national logistic policy, the e-way bill has been put in place, and a lot of things have been done. I don't want to take much time here. These are the reforms they have done, which has been Gati Shakti Yojana is Mr. I think nothing. Nitin Gadkari's thought process, how fast we can make put rails, roads, so that we'll save more money. These things have been definitely impacted. Look at how low penetrated are we, how good opportunities we have as the economy is concerned. Okay, left hand side talks about auto onboarding trips, air conditions, refrigerators, smartphones, and internet users. Look at 4% penetration in India. And look at USA, 81%. Look at China, 15%. Look at trips which we go out abroad. Abroad trips, 6%, 42% in USA. Look at air conditions, 8%, 90% in US. Refrigerators, let me remind you that air conditions are 8% because there are few places in this country you require air conditions. Like for example, Delhi, most of the people require air conditions because of so hot. Chennai, most of the penetration levels are very high, not in Bangalore at least. Okay, so I think 90%. Look at refrigerators. We think everybody has a refrigerator. No, 18% of the Indian people have refrigerators. 100% is a penetration in US. Smartphones. 37% of people having smartphones, and 83% of the people in US, and 58% of the people use internet, and there 95% of people use internet. So this is down on the right hand side. People who have money, having more money. Now the out of 4% of auto distribution, number of people who are buying bigger cars have gone exponentially high. What do you mean by this? Okay, it's an indicator that people are able to earn more money compared to 1 or 2 decades earlier. If somebody is 23 years, 23, 24 years old, this city starts with 8 lakhs. If somebody is 40, I think the CTC today would be at around 25, 30 lakhs. So that kind of numbers were never been very visible. And today, more and more people are going for, you can see there's a big growth of SUV share in the auto is concerned. But still we are low penetrated. Maruti Suzuki, or you can look at Hyundai, they are coming out as listed companies now. They will do extremely good job. Outbound trips, like Thomas Cook is listed company, that company should do well. Make My Trip is there, they will go make a lot of money. Air conditions, I have not covered here many other factors. These are the basic needs which are required. Still we have low penetrated here. I think it's a huge opportunity for India to grow in exponentially. Look at the electronic goods consumption which is happening, and how much we are doing it. Significant impact of transformation driven by government, where incentives have been given. I just took an example of MI putting a plant in near Chennai, where a lot of people are working there for global consumption. You can see mobile phone in 2015, 3.1%. The 3.1% was the growth, and today it is 44% growth. For 13%, Gregor is growing at. Industrial electronics 6.4 and 111.8. Consumer durables 9.1 and 12. In fact, TVs were made in India before. So at least it is made in India. Made in China before and made in India now. There is a joke which which I used to crack before, saying that Earth made God made Earth and China. Rest everything is made in China. So I think everything was made in China before. At least now we are making India, and a lot of things are happening. I think this will look at the growth trajectory come. Still, we have a huge demand. You can see the gap on the left-hand side chart, production versus gap. So 102 units versus 156 units. I think long way to go. This will boost the economy to exponentially grow. This is the ownership of equities. I started covering the equities now. If you see in 2008, the 14.5% was the FIS are owning, and 18.9% we were owning. Slowly we came down by 2014. They were owning more. Today they are continuously selling. We are continuously buying. So we are DIAs are buying. DIA means domestic institutional investors, like mutual funds and insurance companies are buying in the market, where FIS are selling, which is a good news, because we are now resilient ourselves for this kind of economical change. I think we have more money with us now after adding tax money to our kitty. I think we'll have much more liquidity in place. I think this will actually will not make the market to fall in a big way. Okay, so of course markets are impacting, but look at the numbers here. So India's have always outperformed and across asset classes in long term. Look at Indian equities, Nifty 50 have taken example. Look at 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, and 20 years and 15 years. Around 12 to 13% is a growth. I'm talking about only economy, and you can see 5x in 15 years and 3x in 10 years. And US economy has also grown by last 1 year it has done extremely well, and now that's also having 14.2% return. Gold has given 13% return from last 20 years. Real estate has only given 7.6%. This is where the problem starts. Most of the people think real estate makes money. No, not even half of it. You can see 15 years from today, real estate has only has multiplied your money by 2.5 times, whereas equities have done four and a half times. That is a meaningful growth expected in the equities concerned. Debt is of course FDs and other things I don't want to cover it. So I know markets are not linear in nature. Look at how Sensex has grown 13.7% over a period of 34 years, around 85 times it has become. So I would like to highlight here that the graph is not. Everybody expect this line which I mentioned, return of 13.7% CAGR. This line everybody wants a smooth straight line. But unfortunately, this is up and down, up and down, up and down, and then falls, go up, falls and goes up. So we are in a phase where somewhere here, like it's falling, and we are all worried now. We're thinking that no, should we invest or not now? Should we withdraw our money? Then the hike will happen, and then we'll run away. I think 13.7% return and long term is always been there. If you're looking at as a part of growth, I think stay invested. Don't worry, markets will come back. We will be able to do extremely good job. Nothing to worry about it. Look at how the markets has broken and how it can give returns. If you miss the bus, you will not be able to capture it again. Look at 1981 to 1991, it has hardly grown anything. But 1991 to 1993 was a place where Mr. Manmohan Singh took a decision to make the global people to come to India. The big reform has been implemented. Then you can see 3 years of consolidation for 10 years, nothing happened. Then the growth came 43% in 5 years, 15% in 7 years, and then 15% in last 7 years. Thanks to COVID crash has been captured here. In spite of COVID crash, has recorded 15%. I think we are expecting further more growth. Not big fall is expected unless it is necessary. If any new demographical change has to happen. Otherwise, I'm not expecting any growth to fall. However, equities will continue to do well. So be a patient people to have a growth trajectory. Then we can start thinking of doing those things. Followed by, you can see many good diversified equity funds. Just to remind you that these are the examples I've taken because these are the only old funds we have, more than 20 years funds. I've taken the names, it's not a recommendation. You can see Franklin India Blue Chip has given 14.6% return in last 20 years. That means 15 times. HDFC Top 100 Fund has given 16.5% returns 21 times. You can see Franklin India Premium Fund Mid Cap Fund has given 25 times. Nippon India Growth Fund has given 36 times. I have seen Nippon India Growth Fund from beginning, but people are not been there as a part of that growth. People will come and go, but few people have stayed invested and made money. You look at flexi cap funds, 20 times, 25 times, 38 times. So what are the funds you are holding today will have potential to become so many excess in the future. Please do not withdraw unless you have a goal achieved. If you have reached a goal, then only you do the change. Longer the time frame you hold, the possibility of negative returns comes down. Meaning, the more and more time you hold. For example, if you want to invest in equities for 1 day, 46% of chances you lose money. If you hold for 1 month, 38% of chances you lose money. 3 months, 35% of people chances you lose money. I think people who would invest in the last 6 months would have realized now 30% of chance you lose money. You are in the 30% basket now. So last 6 months, who had invested has lost money. People are worried. NAVs have come down from 10 rupees. New funds have come down from 10 rupees, 8 rupees. People are worried. It's okay. It happens. It's a part and parcel of this. Look at 5 and 7 and 10 years. If your holding period is more than 7, 10 years, in negligible. Hardly you lose money. You don't lose money at all, in fact. That is the past performance of every rolling return we have seen. I think I recommend people who are just recently invested, nothing to worry. It is a part and parcel of every economical growth and market. I think you stay invested. And this is the possibility if you stay invested for more than 7 years, more returns will be given in the longer tenure. You can see if you hold for 7 years, 98% of chance you make more than 7%, and 83% of chances you make more than 10% return. So if you look at any FD today is around 6.5%, 7% today. So that means making 10% of return is a big meaningful return. So look at 7 and 10 years, 85% of chance you will make money. Only 30% of chance you make money because you would have entered at a bad time and then recovery would have happened. I think stay invested. Long term is the key. India is growth is there. I have also covered why India will grow in coming days. That's how it has been given perspective. Equity markets always witness 10 to 20% decline every year, including this year. So we have market has fallen around 13% since beginning till date for this financial year. Since 1980 till date, every year markets have fallen more than 10%. You could see example 1980 to a 10%, 12%, 19%, 12%, 9%, 19%, 27%, 30%, 17%. We may not have recognized it, but it has been definitely been fallen. So you can see 2008 was the biggest crash of 60%. 2019-22 was the biggest crash of 47%. That is Harshad Mehta scam, and 2020 was COVID, 38% crash. Apart from that, I don't see 2001, 2002 dot-com bubble, and 96 and 98 was Ketan Parekh scam. So unless scams happens or any big event is happening, the markets are not falling 20, 30%. Only 10, 12, 13% is the usual fall happens. So just to remind you that out of 4 years, out of last, 2, 3 decades, markets have fallen less than 4%. So that means be rest assured that if markets are falling means you are in right place. It will definitely recover and can give you good money. In spite of multiple falls, look at the returns which has recovered within span of time. So despite of an intra-year decline more than 10% every year, 3 out of 4 years ended up in positive returns. That means 75% of chances you will end your year by positively. You can see multiple years has given negative return except 2000. I think I've removed 2000, 1990, 1987, 1988 as 2 years. We have not made money that year in spite of falling 10%. 94 is the year you have not made money. 1997, including 2020, you can see that decline has recovered and we have made money. Okay, so 2008 was a crisis, huge crisis happened that year. We have lost money because it happened started from January and ended till December. So I think don't worry if markets are falling. It's good for you. It's a time for you to accumulate money, put more money and accumulate units. Say during market, I just recently tweeted, during market is rising. Start putting more and more money and accumulate wealth. NAV will go up, and when markets are falling, NAV goes down, the units will go up. So accumulate units. That's a simple way to do, mathematics. You always have reasons to sell a market. This is one of the recent sell was FIs are selling off. I want to exit. Look at the number of reasons in this whole trajectory of growth which we have in India. So many reasons. We can quote so many reasons, not one or two. So many reasons. You can see COVID, LTCG. You can see many examples. So this talks about today. Also, we can come out with the reason why you should not be in the equities. Please stay invested. It will do well. So I see that this should not be the reason where you should exit the market. So despite of several interim crises, Indian equities have always gone up. Look at those crises. We are currently hardly any fall on. This is not a crisis at all. You can see COVID crisis has been there. European crisis has been there. You can see market sell-off happened. In spite of this, red bot talks about the calls. The falls are happening. 2008, you can see mounting of fiscal deficit. Today, physical deficit we spoke about 6.5% to it has come down to 4.4%. Look at the first one, 2019, 86 to 88. Fiscal deficit was 41%. It was a blunder by the government. Okay. So then they declared, then Harshad Mehta scam happened in 1993, 54% fall. Markets tend to fall in spite of that 142 times in 39 years. So if somebody is looking for children's education, somebody looking for retirement corpus, please stay invested. So definitely you'll be able to make money out of this. See, these are 2008, 2002 to 2007. 2007 is a growth trajectory. Market fell because of dot-com bubble, 56%. It has gone up by 7.5%, 3%. So six temporary declines in spite of that growth. You can see 27%, 11%, 13%, 29%, 15%, 11%. Just to remind you that we had a recent COVID crisis. This is 2008 crisis where market fell because of global financial crisis. Look at the interim falls of 30%, 25%, 10%, and 404%. Now we are the edge of COVID crisis has happened and markets are going up and we are declaring. So we are somewhere here. Maybe you will be declaring here. Don't miss the bus. You will have a big trajectory to come going forward. I see markets corrections are necessary. It's healthy. We need to have market corrections in a meaningful way. This is the equity returns are not linear in nature. I would like to remind you that most of people think that I will have to time the market. I always tell people time the market is not important. Time in the market is important. So this is a simple example that if somebody has invested 10 lakh rupees in Nifty 50 and trying to time the market. So the first person, first entry, which has been entire period has been there since 2005 to 2024, 20 years term. Just 2005 invested in equity and sat had made 143 crores. It has become 14.3 times. Mota mota. Okay. So, and somebody has missed five good days. So he missed only 5 days. Good 5 days in the market of 20 years. That means 20 years means around close to how many trading sessions? Around 250 in a year. For 10 years is 2,500. 20 years is 5,000 days. 5,000 market days. He just missed 5 good days. Return came down from 1.43 crores to 92 lakhs. Miss 10 good days, 68 lakhs. Miss 15 good days, 51 lakhs. And 20 good days, 40 lakhs. Look at if somebody miss 50 good days, returns are no profit and no loss. So I don't know which good day will come which day. And the worst of the worst day is 23rd of March 2020. That is the worst day. That should be the best day actually to invest in. That's the second best day in the market to invest in that day. Okay. So I think stay invested, don't time the market, put your SIPs. People will be asking, should I change my SIP date? Whenever I buy SIP goes, my NAV. I think maybe in the future webinars, I think Shubha or Santosh or Yamini, please schedule one more webinar. We'll talk about SIPs myths. Maybe we can talk about it. It can definitely help them how we can number of daily SIP, weekly SIP, monthly SIP, or number of days SIPs, date in change and not have any impact at all. Don't miss the rule of compounding. Power of compounding is very important. It is very slowly and steadily. Let's understand the rule of 843. Simple. It takes first 8 years. If you invest in SIP of 30,000 rupees per month at 12% returns, it takes 8 years to make. You can see first 8 years to make 50 lakhs. It takes another 4 years to make another 50 lakhs. It takes another 3 years to make another 50 lakhs. And if it goes on, look at that last 50 lakhs is made in just 10 months. This is how the compounding actually grows. So if you do not understand, initially you started investing, you're not able to see big money. You think that okay, money is not made. We are worried, but give some time to make that 50 lakhs. First money, making that money is difficult. Later it becomes easy. Similar example of 30,000 SIP at 10% increment every year. Assume if you're starting at 30,000 SIP today and increasing every year by 10%, then it becomes 732. First, it takes 7 years to make 50 lakhs. It takes another 3 years to make another 50 lakh rupees. It takes only 2 years to make another 20 lakhs. And if it goes on, it makes in 8 months in last trajectory. Just in 8 months, you'll make 50 lakh rupees. So the power of compounding is slow and steady. Please be a part of the growth. I think Albert Einstein has mentioned once. Power of compounding is eighth wonder of the world. People who understands it will make it. That's how it is. Just to remind you, I'm talking about 10% increment at 12% increment, 12% return. Just imagine Mr. Mukesh Ambani is multiplying his wealth at 40% year on year from last 2 3 decades. Imagine how wealthy he is now. Okay, that's how the multiplication compounding happens. So what is the time required to double your money? This is a very very important thing to know. People just because they don't know, they go and put the money in PPF, PF, they put money in traditional life insurance policies which they don't understand is necessary or not, and they put money. Look at if you make 1% return in any instrument, it takes 72 years for you to double your money. 72 years. If somebody is in cash, sitting in cash, so better to suicide because there's no meaning in sitting in cash. Second, if somebody is making 5% return, okay, 4% return in SB account, 18 years to double your money. If somebody is sitting with 7% return and an FD, 10 years to make double your money. Look at if it becomes 12 years, it becomes 6 years to double your money. If somebody is making 20%, it becomes only 3.6% to make money. And imagine 40%, 45% return if they are making like Bajaj Finance, HDFC Bank makes 30% every year, year-on-year returns. So these are the things can actually meaningfully change. Just find a mutual fund which can give you 12% return, still can double your money in 6 years. That means 1 lakh will become 2 lakhs in 6 years. In 12 years, it becomes 4 lakhs. In 18 years, it becomes, 8 lakhs. It becomes 8 times in 18 years. Okay, that's the amount of compounding it can give you. So just remember this graph. If you are getting stuck because of somebody else is telling you to have a safety, imagine you're getting stuck for multi-year. non-growth. So if you're looking at 10, 12 years of investment horizon, people invest in PPF for 15 years. I don't see any reason. 7.2%. It just doubles in PPF in 10, 7.5, 8 years, 10 years, in fact. So I think you should start investing in equities if you are a long-term investor. Of course, you should invest in money in FDs and PPFs and all in for a short-term investment, not necessary for equity. As I mentioned, making 1 crore, first 1 crore is very difficult, very, very tough, and the incremental 1 crore is very, very easy. Look at this graph. So if somebody is invested making 1 crore corpus at 12% return, first 1 crore will take 1 crore becoming 2 crore will take 6 years. Second 1 crore will become in 3.5 years. Third 1 crore will happen 2.5 years. Fourth 1 crore will happen in 2 years. And look at in the ninth 1 crore will happen in just 1 year's time. So just after some time, making first 1 crore is very, very difficult. Later, compounding is very, very easy. So if somebody is chasing 1 crore goal, that means somebody is already having 1 crore, just you are 6 years away to become 2 crores, and 9.5 years away to become 4 crores, and so on and so forth. I think stay invested, believe in power of compounding, you will definitely reach the goals. Real estate. Everybody is talking about real estate can make money. Of course, it will make money, no doubt about it. Only it happens in the lower cities. You go to tier cities and make money. In India, if you look at top 5, 10 cities, it's difficult to make money unless you are having a commercial property. Look at the growth of this thing. It's a cyclical in nature. 2002 to 2012, it grew at 15% CAGR. Okay, it grew at 15% per annum. But if you look at from 2013 to 2023, it has only grown by 5%. So that means if you may be holding the money, if somebody is already invested in 2002, they're coming and telling me today, sir, I invested 5 lakh rupees in a land, it become no 1 crore. It became 90 lakhs in 2012 only. From 90 lakhs, you're sitting there only and it has become 1 crore now. And 1 crore will become 2 crores, answer is no. Because just to remind you that 5% CAGR means it requires how many years to double your money? 14 years to double your money. It requires 14 years to double your money. 15% means you will double your money in every 4.5 years. So real estate is necessary. Real estate is a place to keep money, not to make money. I repeat, real estate is a place to keep big money, not to make big money. Okay. So just look at as have one house, have maybe one seat extra one site or maybe plot, not beyond. Don't buy multiple houses. It is a criminal offense. You will kill your compounding at any point in time. This is the returns over equities. Look at that return, except few years. The green one are the ones where they have beaten equity. Rest every time it has underperformed against equities. I have not come across any top 100 people in the country who are rich have more real estate. All of them have equity. Their shares would have made more money for them. Their business would have made more money for them than real estate. I'm not telling real estate is bad. I'm telling you just have a cautional thought that just jumping into real estate will not make you rich. It can make you feel rich or make you look rich, but it will not make you rich. So look at the underperformance across all. After you cross 10 years, after you cross actually 8 years only most of the years. You can see 10 years, most of the years is underperformed. 11 years, most of the years. 10. After 13 years, if you're holding any real estate more than 12 years, 13 years, equities will definitely do better job than that. Need to look at it at all. And should I do my investment myself? Why not? So real estate is necessary, equity is required, gold is required. Look at the number of